That has seen many peaceful protests. Have you participated in the protests out there? What are you doing?
I've not been physically in the protest, in part because when I helped lead protests in 1992 as a student in response to Rodney King, I remember what it meant for the students and the young people to take the lead. I appreciate the instinct of leaders to join in these protests, but too often our presence distracts from their message. And so what we've tried to do is be supportive, helping with bail funds, helping with lawyers, helping build the narrative and get the message out. But I want to be very clear that this is about the demonstrators who are facing this issue every single day. My responsibility is to fix the systems I can, to promote the change we need, and to do what I can to support their message, but not to distract from their efforts.
If you're out there, all the cameras going to come to you and take the focus off of where it should be. Today
again, I want to be clear. I understand the instinct to be there, but
right.
Having been on the other side, having been an activist and a protester, I have a very visceral reaction, and my conscience tells me I need to stay out of the way and let the attention focus on the demonstrators.
Today in the New York Times, you wrote about voting and how important it is, even if it sounds inadequate amid all the injustices we continue to see. And, there are people who say, well, voting, is that really going to change, what police officers are doing? But you said, even if it seems inadequate, what's your message to Black people about voting?
Voting is like medicine. We have a nation that is diseased. It is diseased by racism and by systems of injustice that need to be cured. But there is not a single medicine you can take that instantly cures your disease. It takes time, and you've got to go through treatment. And voting is one of those treatments. Filling out the census is one of those treatments. We get the power we can take. No one's going to give it to us. And I'd like to point out that when I was in the state legislature, because someone voted me in, I was able to vote for, in fact, to co-sponsor legislation that peeled back some of the protections that law enforcement had that shielded them from accountability. Voting did that. When I worked for the city of Atlanta, voting helped make changes. And so, yes, the changes are going to be slow, they're going to be tedious, and they're going to be inadequate. But they're progress, and progress matters. Progress is how we get to the change we ultimately need. And so I don't want to be disingenuous and say just go vote, but I do want people to understand, as I said in this essay, silence damns us all, because our silence gives evil carte blanche to continue, and we see what evil will do.
So glad you said that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your being vocal, and I appreciate your presence and using your platform for good. Thank you so much, Stacey Abrams. I'll see you soon. You be safe.